between these two blown shades. Now here we come to it. 25165 was a leaded shade. A leaded shade that doesn't have copper foil. A leaded shade with identical pink striated glass as that early trefoil. But this lamp has something special. This lamp has stylized, highly stylized, white glass, clear glass trefoils. In the middle of this trefoil, scratched by hand with Tiffany's diamond scriber, is a mark. This is what set me on the trail. It's there and it's invisible to the naked eye. It needs a loop or a high definition camera to capture this. That is the Glass and Decorating logo scratched in the lead. In the same manner that on the base is scratched XI with a fine diamond point, not like the normal Tiffany scratch marks that you find on the desk sets. They're all made with one stroke. There's the Glass and Decorating logo scratched into the lead there. Now what did it mean? What did it mean? What was Tiffany trying to tell us? Well, I had the glass forensically tested by British Glass in Sheffield. They shot atoms at it and they came back that it was highly annealed soda lime glass. Now all Tiffany lamps are based on soda lime glass because it's hard and durable, but it's too brittle to cut and polish. Thomas Webb, the greatest lamp maker in the world, in 1930 still couldn't cut and polish soda lime glass because on the Mohs scale of hardness, soda lime glass comes out somewhere between 6.5 to 7. Now leaded crystal that the glass makers cut and polish is only 4.5 on the Mohs scale. 7.7 on the Mohs scale is as hard as amethyst and other semi-precious stones, but it cannot be cut with ordinary glass cutting techniques. It can, however, be cut by jeweller's techniques, and I think that's what Tiffany was trying to tell us. He was trying to tell us he made the greatest glass in history. I'll give you a closer look at this trefoil now. That glass is today called optic crystal. It's optical glass used in decoration. Impossible to cut with ordinary glass cutting techniques. This could have only been cut by Tiffany & Co.'s jewellers. And that's what Tiffany was trying to tell us. As for the XI on the base, this lamp came up for sale on eBay and it was bought by Mr. Burton Geyer. Now Mr. Burton Geyer, his name is in the acknowledgements of Tiffany desk sets on page 3. Acknowledgements, Burton Geyer, Tiffany desk sets. I got in touch with him and asked him to kindly look on the base, see if he had an XI. And here's the letter I got back from Mr. Burton Geyer. Hi again Tony, I opened the base plate and I too have XI scratched on it. Amazing, can you tell me in the Kosh book it appears and which book? Yeah, okie doke. So his XI was scratched using one stroke with an ordinary scriber. As I've shown you before, my XI was made using a diamond point. Okay, now where do we go from here? I bought on eBay an early inkwell there, and searching for a piece of glass to be identical to the lamp, which I needed to find. I had to break it apart, sadly, to find this piece of glass. Now this piece of glass is identical to the glass in the lampshade. Can you see that? Identical in every way, even the same texture. So, if this was a marriage, as people seem to think, there should be no, what's the word? There should be no link whatsoever with Tiffany Studios. None at all. Even the trefoil. If it was a marriage, how could a trefoil arrive? Trefoil is a very, very rare pattern before Clara Driscoll got involved. Now then, where did this lamp turn up? I believe that when this lamp was made, they intended to make that shape. But when they put it all together, with the heavy bulb and the heavy bulb holder, it fell over because it was too heavy. At that, they obviously had to bend it back to move the centre of gravity so it didn't fall over. And once Tiffany could see that bulb and the holder, I think he said, we can't sell that, that's got to be sold to an employee. And I believe the employee he sold it to, there's Clara Driscoll, and standing there is Joseph Briggs, who sent 300 and odd items back to England when they closed the factory in 1933, which are in the Haworth Art Gallery in Accrington. This lamp arrived, found in Accrington, near Accrington, at an antique fair in 1983. So what are we speaking about here? This is your heritage, not mine. This shouldn't be in England. I believe this lamp is the first Tiffany lamp, and I believe it's worth $20 million. It shouldn't be in England. It needs to be returned home. It's your heritage, and I think you should get together. You need to know the technical features of these early lamps. Could not be reproduced. Technical features are technical features, and you can stamp as many numbers as you like, and you can call stuff a marriage as much as you like, but technical features are technical features that cannot be reproduced. So whether you believe this story or not, I'll keep adding information as I get to it. And it's sat in my little house in Birmingham in England, when in actual fact it should be in a museum in America. Ladies and gentlemen, the first ever Tiffany lamp.